Hello and welcome to another Sega News Bits Live. Little impromptu. Didn't think I was going to do another one of these this week. Forgive the the blown out. It was like the perfect storm of my neighbors mowing, the sun hitting like the house outside and just bouncing back and making me look like like pasty as hell. But hey, we got some stuff to talk about. I wasn't going to do this just for the Sonic Frontiers battle footage, but then there was some really cool stuff debuted for, well, it's Sega's 62nd anniversary as of today. So, happy birthday to Sega. Some British people are singing, I think. Happy birthday. I should have gotten the Japanese track. Listen to that. Alright, no more. Alright, well, congratulations to Sega for another year in the bucket. So it was, they were established as Sega proper, the Japanese, I guess, arm. I mean, there's a whole history before that. We don't need to get into it. But the big news of the day, because there were a ton of announcements, was that the Mega Drive Mini 2 is happening. So here we have it on the Segabits website. So it was, I mean, we knew something was coming. They scheduled a live stream. The same people who were on the Mega Drive Mini one, and I believe even the Game Gear Micro one, were scheduled to be there. So it was kind of, the guess was maybe a Saturn Mini, maybe a Dreamcast Mini, but we ended up getting this. And so I think I'm optimistic about it. I'm positive about it. I like the announcement. Obviously, I would have loved a Saturn Mini or a Dreamcast Mini. I think they even touched on that, saying that just it would cost a lot for the production and chipsets being what they are now, yada yada. It's just not in the cards for them. But never say never. But at the very least, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, I know when the Super NES came out, the little mini version, people were like, oh, they should do another one. But it's like, well, what would they do? Would they re-release the same body of it with more games? I mean, it wouldn't look different. But with Sega, they have so many variations. So we have here the Mega Drive Mini 2, which is the Model 2. And then on top of that, this means that they can now explore the expansions. So no word yet on 32X games. I don't even think they've said there will be 32X games. But what has been announced is that it will include Mega Drive titles, Mega CD titles, and they're going to focus on sequels. So sequels to games that were on the original Mega Drive Mini, as well as arcade ports that we haven't seen on the previous one, unreleased titles, and they keep teasing this mystery new game. So lots to be excited about there. I'll actually click on in here. Now, we are not like I'd like to say we're your go-to source for Sega news, but I pulled from, his name is Gosoku on Twitter. So I pulled some of the information from him, some from the official website. So you can check us out, segabits.com. I think it's a pretty good collection of all the information that was released today on the Mega Drive Mini 2. Just some highlights include that it will include the style kit. They call it the Tower Mini kit, and I have them here. Let me actually switch to my main cam so we can check these out. So when the original Mega Drive Mini came out, they had this style kit for Japan, and it included the 32X, and then you could make the tower, so it included Sonic and Knuckles, and then Sonic 1, which, I guess you could play Blue Spheres with this. But then on top of that, they also released, and you'll see it on the bottom here, the Model 1 Sega CD. And then a little while later, they released just this style kit, just this little bit on top. It was the power base converter for Master System games. And this was to cross-promote Lost Judgment, which did include Master System games. So there were two different style kits. There were a bunch of little My Cards, what do they call them? Sega My Cards for the Mark III. And you could get a bunch of those. I have, what's in there right now? Haunted House, I think. And then I have Fantasy Zone up here. And so what they are doing now for the Mega Drive Mini 2 is that, and I'll go down here so you can see the gallery here, they are going to have a style kit including a Model 2 Sega CD and then Virtua Racing, the special Virtua Racing cart, which is the only game to utilize the extra, what is that, RAM, I guess. So it's fun, it's quirky, it's just for, just for looks, but I really love it. Oh, and another cool thing, wait, do they have it here? Yes, on the, and I can't show you it because I'd have to take it apart, but on the Sega CD itself that they released, you can kind of peek inside of it and see a little circuit board. If you open this up, if you unscrew it, inside is a paper circuit board. So they even went to the effort of hiding a paper circuit board inside of this, which is so funny. So it makes me wonder if they're going to do the same for the Model 2 Sega CD. That is going to be, it's available, it's sold out right now on Amazon Japan, but I'm sure it'll come back in stock also. And let's click on over there. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go through their official website. Let's check out the official Mega Drive Mini 2 website. So if you go in here, you can click around. Auto translate will help you a lot. But this shows you the titles that are included, as well as links to purchasing. I love when they do this little like lineup, so you can see the games lined up there. But jumping over to the Sega store, the EB10 Sega store, if you use something like, I like to use Zen Market, a proxy service, you just send them the link for this, they will buy it for you, and then when it ships to them, they will ship it to you. And the prices, I think, are very fair. It's a little more than Amazon Japan, but Amazon Japan does not have the bonus items that EB10 always does because it's an official store. And, if you want to throw on a few extra items, go on ahead, and then you can maybe save a little money in shipping. But here's the big mama. So the big mama is going to include not only the console itself and a 6-button controller, but you are also going to get these little faux CDs. So you see that here? You get 2 Mega CD titles. I mean, obviously they're going to be like tiny. And then you are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 cartridges that are going to represent games on the console. Now, the plug and play is going to have 50 games, 50 plus. So this is only a sampling of what's there. And then, as you can see, they're going to send you this really nice frame that you can actually put all of those little things in there. And it's going to be small, but it's cool. I actually went for their deluxe kit for the Game Gear Micro, and I'll show that off in a second here. But you'll also include that style kit, and then, of course, the console itself. And Game Gear Micro got one as well, and here that is. And what I really loved about it is it's got this nice slip cover. You pull it off, and then, and this is actually from Rakuten. So I did not get this from the EB10 store. The EB10 one, I believe, was a frame, whereas the Rakuten one included, and this was really cool, you fold it open and you can hold your 4 consoles, and then there were little pins representing each game that was included with the console. And I'm not like a pin badge collector to keep things British, but I just love it. It's so fun. And it's a great way to store them, too. And then on top of that, later on, we got the white Game Gear Micro, which I have here. You can see that. And this came out with the Aleste games from M2. And then, not done yet. I feel like I'm doing an infomercial. And that's not all, folks. Then there was the Astro City Mini, which had the style kit, which included this base, which doubles as a piggy bank, and then this little stool, and then there was also a mat, which I have sitting next to me here, and all these other cool things. So, wow, they are really mowing the lawn right now out there. I hope it's not bothering you guys. But, yeah, so I don't know, did I miss anything? Well, let's jump back over to the news story. I'm sure I did. But just in terms of the merchandise, the little extras, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy picking these things up because, we haven't had Sega hardware since the Dreamcast, and so to get this stuff, it's just really fun. It scratches an itch that I have not been able to really kind of feel since 1999, 2000, you know? So to get new Sega hardware, even if it's just a plug and play, and all these little fun things like a little stool, it's just so fun. And we still have a Astro City Mini V coming out, which is going to be the vertical orientation games. But this one looks to, I guess, blow that out of the water. The games you're going to get so far, 11 has been revealed. There's going to be Sylphied, the Mega CD version, Shining Force CD, Sonic CD, which is very interesting because that will be included in Sonic Origins, but they just delisted all out, except for the mobile ports, they just delisted Sonic CD, the Taxman Stealth one, on consoles. So it's going to be interesting to have, I guess, like a one-to-one faithful port of Sonic CD, which we technically have not had because even the Taxman ones add things to it. This one's going to be your basic original version of it, which is going to be fun. There's also going to be Mansion of Hidden Souls, which is a Mega CD game. Popful Mail, I'm very excited for that. Virtual Racing, Bonanza Brothers, Shining in the Darkness, Thunder Force 4, Magical Tokun, and then Fantasy Zone, which is actually a brand new port of the arcade version from the same person who made the Darius port that appears on the Mega Drive Mini. So I feel like just with M2 behind this, a lot of love is going into it, a lot more love than we saw even with the, and I don't mean to bash it, but like I love this thing, but if M2 had worked a little more on the Astro City Mini, if they had worked on it, I think there would have been a lot more fun little Easter eggs like new games and things like that. Now the big question is there going to be a menu in this where you can switch it to English menus, which you can do on the Astro City Mini and you can do on, I believe, the Game Gear Micro. So they don't hide that English is supported even if the console itself is not released to the West. And the big question is, if we switch it over, are we going to have English translations of these games, like if they exist? And if that's the case, like something like Popful Mail, Sonic CD, would they include the English voiceovers, the English music? I hope so. I mean, Shining Force CD translated would be beyond awesome. I think that was one of the drawbacks to, and I'll pick it up again, the Astro City Mini, is because it did not receive an American release or a Western release. None of the games were translated. Thankfully, these are almost all playable in the West with very little issues with like the dialogue. But then when you get into something like role-playing games and stuff, like is Shining Force CD going to be kind of a game you just skip because you can't understand it? The also big question here is that if they put something like Snatcher on this, like would they go so far as to throw the English language one on it too? Like we'll see. I mean, Snatcher is not a Sega-owned property, but it has appeared on the TurboGrafx Mini untranslated, so it would be a huge win if they get Snatcher and if they put the English one on there. That would be awesome. I don't know. But just to check out some of the photos here, there is a look at the menu, so very much in line with the Mega Drive Mini 1, but obviously new graphics, new options. Here's what it looks like when you select a game. You get some information about it, and then you can start it up. Also, I really appreciated this little add-on, so you can listen to it using either the Mega Drive 2 sound or the Mega Drive 1 sound. In my opinion, the Mega Drive 1 is superior, but it's a fun little hardware change to have there. I really like that. And then, not too much to say about the games itself when they present them. It looks like the same sort of like wallpapers that you can switch around in the background. Nothing too special there. And then this was fun, and you can see them here, these little plastic fiddly bits. So those are actually the spacers needed for the, let's see if I can unplug it. No, it's not. Yeah, here we go. The 32X from the original tower, that thing he's holding there is what you need to make it fit properly on the Mega Drive 2. And then on top of that, they're, I believe, going to have the spacer, the little extra plastic bit for the Model 2 Sega CD. So some really cool, fun little things that, I appreciate, I love to see. So all in all, it's going to be a fun release that comes out October 27th. So not too far away. And on top of that, next month at the end of July, we're going to be seeing the Astro City Mini V, which is not going to be a major release. I think there's only like 20-something games on that one. But if you're a vertical shoot-'em-up fan, you're going to enjoy it. Another bit of news, just briefly touch on this. So Famitsu did a live stream this morning. Actually, as I was waking up, it was ending, detailing Sonic Origins. And they played like close to an hour of it. It's going to be a little jumpy here, so I'm just going to mute it and just kind of click through. So you can check this out on segabits.com. But it gives you a very good look at the menus within the game. It also plays through the entire first opening cutscene, which looks fantastic. I really liked this. Let me see if I can bring it up here. It's an overworld map. So all those little islands we see, here we go. You can actually zoom out and see them all, and then you can zoom back in and visit them, which I thought was really cool. And what's fun too is that you can see here the mission mode is using the island from Sonic Spinball, and then the museum mode is using the island from Flicky's Island. So a nice little Easter egg. I wish it was more than an Easter egg, even if those games weren't 16:9 Retro Engine. If they were just included as ROMs, I think that would be awesome. I also would have loved it if they included all the Game Gear games, like, again, just as ROMs. I don't need something super special. I just like the idea of all the games being there. Speaking of things being there, there was also, they go through the museum mode, and you can actually see that the, outside of like IDW comic covers, they are also going to have a ton of concept art and then footage. So you're going to actually get all of those Sonic Mania Adventures shorts, including the Christmas special that released after Sonic Mania Plus on this collection within the cutscene gallery. So you can watch all the cutscenes that are new to this game. You can also watch all of the animations that they created for Sonic Mania Plus, which is really nice. I always like when the animations are kind of archived and preserved on disc or on cartridge. Like it would have been great to have Night of the Werehog. I don't think that was physically available on the Unleashed disc, though the shorts were, but it's nice to see them here. I wish they included even more, but what we're getting is very cool. And then the Harmony magazine scan covers, I guess, are there, which was a big deal for some folks. And then, other cool bits like Boss Rush mode has little boss intro. So you get like, let's see if we can see it here. You can see the name of the boss. Yeah, you see that there kind of pop up. So just lots of cool little pluses and bonuses. There's a 2-player mode, which includes, I believe, additional maps. Here, actually, you can see them here. So let's pause that. You can see stage select, you can do 1-player or 2-player, and it looks like, what is that, the full game, or at least a good portion of it. Let's see what they select. So they are playing Emerald Hill Zone. Yeah, so these are the multiplayer stages, but it looks like you get an expanded selection of them. They're just, squished. But I like that they retain the squished nature, because that's, a little throwback to the way they used to do it. So yeah, overall, very cool. Sonic Origins is coming out on Sonic's birthday this month. I'm very excited for that. And then the last bit is the IGN preview of Sonic Frontiers Combat gameplay. It's their exclusive footage. So let's actually jump over to the video itself. I'll turn the volume down and then chit-chat over it, pause it if something catches my eye, or fast forward if it gets boring. So here we go.
IGN First continues on with yet another look.
IGN First continues on with another look at Sonic Frontiers, this time detailing the combat.
Some of which are among the most massive bosses
Blah, blah,
we've
blah.
ever seen in a Sonic
So-
game. Fortunately, Sonic's got some new tricks up his sleeve.
He's got some new tricks up his sleeve, the guy says. So that's Sonic doesn't have a shirt, so that's a loss right there, you know.
For now, though, enjoy the combat.
I do like the little animations of Sonic standing there. I think he does a little turn at some point. Yeah, there he goes. He like crosses his arms. Combat, I've seen people who play PSO2, New Genesis. I've played a bit of that, but I'm mainly a OG PSO2 player. They've seen a lot of similarities in the combat here to certain modes in PSO2. So, you know, again, Sega's using what they learned there for this. Now, what I would say with these previews in general is that what they should have done is had Sega themselves record gameplay footage and then edit it with someone talking over it, explaining what we're looking at and what we're seeing and the various ways to play the game. Instead, they just kind of throw you in and show you footage, and you're like, you know, like for example, you could go here, you know, when Sonic meets an airborne enemy, he has a lot of different options. You could take him on head first, but there's, you know, they might attack back. What you need to do is find the weak spots. Attack the orbs when they're not glowing. You can also, you know, like something like that. Then we could actually understand, like, oh, special moves can also be leveled up and, you know, throughout the game. But I would say, oh, and here's someone's throwing questions to the chat. I'll put it up here too. Do you think Sonic's fighting style is varied more here in Smash or in Sonic Battle? I think Sonic Battle, from memory, is has a lot more going on with it. I'm not a big Smash player, so I can't speak to that, but that's 2D, if I'm not mistaken. So here, I'd say this is probably the most in-depth Sonic combat we've had in 3D. Now, I've seen some people make the comparison to Rise of Lyric. I've played Rise of Lyric. Rise of Lyric is janky as hell. This does not look janky as hell. It may not look like the best Sonic combat we have ever seen, but please, Sonic Rise of Lyric, I don't think can be beat in terms of just how awful the combat was in that, how janky it was. Here, I see what the player is trying to do. I think it's kind of frustrating that they keep taking on the same enemy. That's cool. I like the flying kick. But they keep taking on the same enemy in this and making the same mistakes of attacking the armor and then bouncing off. Again, I think Sega should have put a better video out detailing the various enemies, the various attacks, and not repeating it so much. But as you can see here, like you get close, it closes up, you can't attack it. So you have to run around it, blast the top of it off, and then you can do these little quick attacks. Now, I really like that spinning bit where he's like kicking it really fast. I think that's fun. And I think as players play this, they very quickly will pick up their preferred method of attack, which I think is a sign of a decent, or I guess good, fighting engine, just because, you know, it gives you some options. I did get a little Bayonetta vibe from this, which I thought was interesting. When Sonic is taking them on, like he jumps around, dodges. I mean, not just like that bit there. Like it's almost like he froze time and then jumped past them. I thought that was cool. I think these environments are pretty fun looking, and again, these little walking enemies are look like they provide the most fun combat because it's just like fighting other, you know, full-bodied enemies. You can do a lot more. I guess they're like the egg pawns of the game. And then finally, the big boss here. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. I like how massive these things are. Like they fill the sky. You can see here that there are different phases of the enemy. So the first one is he smashes down, you hit the blue things, you can boost up the arm, and then you attack the little crown or horn or whatever on top. It blows up. And then when he goes on to the next one, it gets a little more complex. Like you see here, it comes down, but then there's these red bits, and if you hit the red bit, you get deflected, and he kind of shoots them off. As far as the enemy design, these are very like Sonic 06 kind of enemies to me, like just with the white, black, and red. Actually, Sonic the movie enemies, they really feel like, again. But I don't believe these are Eggman robots. I think these are the rogue AI that Eggman was trying to, maybe he didn't successfully take control of. Rumor is they're called Sage, is the name of the AI, which I think I said on the last video is like a nod to the Sonic Amateur Games Expo, which would make total sense with Ian Flynn writing the script, that he would throw in a little nod to the fans like that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, this was the most exciting or interesting fight to me. I like the way the enemy is like an environment once you start running on him, and you can attack these little bits of him. I like how you can attack the bottom of the feet. I thought that was neat. I like that you can draw with your, with your speed trail around enemies and kind of blast them up. People are saying in the chat that, maybe there's a skill tree. I wish they showed more. Again, I agree. I wish they did show more in this. I think what we're seeing is just like someone playing the game, and we're not getting a really good idea of, like what these little things he's collecting are. Are these skills going to get better? Is Sonic going to get faster? It's kind of a head scratcher that this is the way Sega wants to debut the game, because as we saw with the previous footage, it's just kind of like, here's someone playing. Oh, you have some questions about what those little medals are and what those things he's collecting are? Nah, we're going to hide the HUD. We're not going to get all into it. Like, just get all into it. Show us everything. I mean, within the first stage, you don't have to spoil the game just by showing us the combat or exploration system. As far as enemies, we saw this roly ball boy, and I guess a lot of kicking. And then the next one we saw was the little umbrella boy who kind of hides himself in the little shell. And the player keeps making the same mistake of attacking the shell, even though you're not supposed to do that. Losing rings, you can collect them. They don't absorb right away, so that was kind of neat. It's nice to see that they haven't completely removed rings, though I know there's not going to be like a life system, so I'm interested to see what the rings do in the game. And you can see there, so he collected those little blue orbs, and then it goes into the bottom right-hand corner. You see that? Like, but where are they going? I wish they'd tell us. And then finally these little walking guys, and then the big Titan. So I think it was an improvement from the video we got before. You can watch my reaction to that. I thought I was actually pretty positive about it. I saw what they were trying to present. I'm not super picky about like animations and quill lengths and stuff. Like, to me, I've played games that people have given 6 or 7 out of 10. And I'm like, this is my favorite game. Not to say that like I'm already applying a score to Sonic Frontiers, but from what I'm seeing, it is not like, I don't know, it's not like your AAA Sonic game, but it's definitely not a resounding F and deserves to like be delayed for another year or something. I think people are being over the top with that. What I think is, though, that we are seeing a game with a lot of different parts that I think when put together is going to make a fun game. But the problem is that they are rolling it out so strangely by being like, this is exploration, this is combat. Like, what's the next one going to be? Like, I don't know, like running? I don't know. Like, I wish they would just put out one video showing how it all works together. And I think that would probably really help. Also, the music, I think I'd like to see and hear. Well, I'd like to hear more music. I'd love to see music, but this isn't res. But yeah, in all, cautiously, I'm just optimistic. Like, what the hell? Like, there's so much shit going on in the world, that then I jump. Okay, here's Barry's soapbox, and then I'll close things up. There is so much shit going on in the world, like right now. And then I go on to Twitter and I see people losing their minds over a fucking Sonic game. And I'm like, guys, Like, you need to apply that sort of thing to some other things in life. Like, it just kind of, I was not in the best headspace earlier this week, and then when I saw that there was going to be some Sonic footage, I was like, oh, cool, fun, let's enjoy it. And then people are like losing their shit over it, and I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm not there. That's not me. All right, I'm off the soapbox. People are mentioning here, there are cyberspace levels. I don't know. I mean, has that been confirmed? Obviously, a lot of the leaks have been confirmed to be true, so we have to assume so. But yeah, there are apparently levels that you can go inside cyberspace, and they act much more like your classic Generations or Unleashed speed stages. So I'm looking forward to that. But again, like, we've seen little bits and pieces of this game, and I'm more interested in seeing how it all works together. Like, maybe it is like big open world, couple of puzzles, collect items, feed these like rock chow, see a bunch of enemies, fight the enemies, explore more, do some puzzles, enter cyberspace, do a super fun fast stage that's going to make you remember the good times with Generations and Unleashed, jump back, really fun written cutscene by Ian Flynn, some more cool stories, humans are back, like, that could be the end of the day with the game. And I hate doing this, but like, I hate applying scores to something I just saw, but let's say, like, yeah, this is like an 8 out of 10. What's the big deal? Like, anything's better than Forces, right? Anyway, that just about does it. So yeah, if you want to pre-order the Mega Drive Mini 2, you can check out Amazon. It's going in and out of stock. That's your best option if you just want the console. It's like $80 or something. I was getting out of stock, even though it was in stock. It was kind of strange. There's also the style kit there, which you can get separately. So when that goes back in stock, you can add that to your cart. Amazon Japan does not charge you until they ship. So if you want to cancel that before October, go ahead. Otherwise, I would suggest using something like Zen Market for the Ebten store, maybe Rakuten, if they're doing, their own little bonus item. But I haven't seen anything from them. Sonic Origins coming out end of this month. Very excited for that. And Sonic Frontiers, optimistic. Not even cautiously, guys. Not even cautious. I'm just, whatever. Optimistic. You know what you do need to be cautious about is the real world. So maybe step outside, look at the problems going on in the world, and then step back inside and go, you know what? That little video game where a blue hedgehog's running around and he's fighting like AI robots, that's not so bad now. I don't know. But anyway, have a fantastic weekend. Play some games. I don't know if I'm going to. I'm probably just going to, like, think about games and write about games rather than play them. But thanks for watching. We'll see you sooner than later. I want to do more of these as the Sonic Frontier stuff rolls out. This will be my your little haven if you want to discuss it rather than just shit all over it. Until next time, I'm Barry, and remember, welcome to the next level.